happening today. It is Teacher Appreciation Week, and it's also Teacher Appreciation Day. You know, teachers really have a tough job. They're tasked with teaching your children, but also many of them face a teacher shortage, filling gaps where they can in classroom coverage. Joining us live is Anna Harani, an assistant professor at Wayne State University. Thank you so much for being with us, Anna. We appreciate your time. You know, talk to us about the modern day role of a teacher. Why is it so important, especially today?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. So teachers, they're not just educators, they're community stabilizers and they're opportunity builders. Teachers are really one of the most important factors in any community because they shape both, individual futures and also collective futures all at the same time. Research consistently shows us that a single effective teacher can significantly increase a student's long-term, outcomes, not just academically, but, in life, college graduation rates, lifetime earnings, quality of life. But beyond that, teachers are often the most consistent, trusted adults in a child's life. They create stability and for the child, especially, students who are experiencing uncertainty outside of school.
Yeah.
So in many ways, strong schools, with strong teachers are really the backbone of healthy communities.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you kind of alluded to my next question here, actually, because,
Yeah.
teachers teach, right? But they also juggle multiple different things. Some of that is checking on a child maybe throughout a day where they seem like they're having a bad day, or, going the extra mile, staying extra after work just to, make sure children have a comfortable place to stay in that classroom day to day. Can you talk about some of the extra tasks day to day that teachers are responsible for that many people don't realize?
Oh my gosh, teachers wear so many hats. So I have a little bit of a side thing. I always tell my students that I teach, you're going to wear so many hats. You're going to be not only a teacher, you'll be a social worker, a nurse, a mom, a dad, an aunt. And it's important that that the teachers are taking care of themselves so that they can play all these different roles in students' lives. Um, yeah, I mean, teachers are also the first in line to catch, any other issues that are happening in the child's life and making sure they contact the, you know, the the correct specialty person to address those things, whether it be a learning disability or, some kind of physical health issue, because the teacher is the one that sees the child every single day, and can really, play all of those different roles.
Yeah, I want to touch on some broader context here because not only do they have so many different roles in the classroom, but there are a lot of teachers now kind of filling gaps where we have a teacher shortage. And I just want to read this. This is a study from Michigan State University it actually was just released in January. It says that in 2024, more Michigan teachers were certified in the last decade, but there is a large turnover kind of accounting for the shortage that we're seeing. The shortage is really the worst in the special education department, as well as urban, rural, and underserved communities. So I want to talk about the teacher shortage. How do shortages impact schools and also the overall education of students throughout the day-to-day process?
Yeah, that's a great question. When schools are understaffed, it impacts everyone. Teachers are often, they have to take on additional responsibilities, which can lead to burnout, and students, may not get the consistency that is so important for students, but also the individual attention that they need. So I think that the solution is really multi-layered. We need, to continue attracting people to the profession, but also just as importantly, we need to retain the excellent teachers we already have. So that means really supporting them with mentorship, making sure they have manageable workloads, and professional respect. So, teacher preparation programs also play a role in that. And so we need to ensure that new teachers feel ready and supported so they can stay in the profession long term. And so that also, means that I'm supporting them to make sure that they can play all these different roles. Because the classroom is always evolving and changing. And so, when we are preparing students, future teachers, we are preparing them to be culturally responsive to the students that they have. We're preparing them to be flexible, right? Because they have, things are always changing in the classroom, and also, there's a variety of needs in the classroom. So really making sure and ensuring that the teachers have the tools they need, I think will really help with retention. But yes, I mean, the teacher shortage, we feel it across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And this has been ongoing since the pandemic, really, since, 2020. So for about almost, 6 years. I want to ask you, too, because you mentioned something in there, making sure teachers have the correct support they need across the board, also taking care of themselves when it comes to when they're feeling burnout creep in. What are some ways that maybe you would recommend to teachers out there that are kind of feeling that end of the year exhaustion? I just think like we're kind of toward the end of the semester here. What are ways that, you're preparing your students, so future teachers, to deal with that?
Yes, that's a great question. Yeah, sometimes I tell my students, you may think I'm a therapist, but I'm really preparing you for literacy here to teach to students. But here's the thing. Mental health is so important, and we can't, as teachers, fully show up for our students if we're not showing up for ourselves. So I always tell my students, like, I always ask them, what are the things in life that you love? What is your lifeline? What brings you joy? Make sure you are scheduling those things in. Like literally put them in your calendar. And even when you think like, I can't fit anything else in, you make sure that you are at least fitting in those things that give you life and bring you joy. And sometimes we'll even start class and we'll talk about, small moments of joy in their lives, even in the midst of adversity or stress. What are the small things in life that we can notice and pay attention to, because they're always happening all around us. But we just have to be mindful and notice what those are. I think that's really important. And then also, like I said before, just being prepared as a teacher. So that means, being prepared to support diverse learners, because if you don't have these skills, like that's also going to be a big strain. So supporting diverse learners, using, inclusive and culturally responsive practices, and, being able to make instructional decisions in real time. I think all of those things will really help teachers, but especially towards the end of this year, I always, all the teachers out there, please make sure you're taking care of yourself, because that is the best way to take care of your students.
Yeah, Anna Harani, we appreciate your time, and also we want to let you know Happy Teacher Appreciation Day to you, because you are a teacher of future teachers. So we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for helping us appreciate teachers this morning.
Well, thanks for having me.